After 2 straight weeks on the road, the ACU football team is back home tonight at Wildcat Stadium. I'm Owen Simpson.
And I'm Grant Boone. We'll preview that game against high-flying Houston Baptist and look at a milestone start for an ACU quarterback. It's the Adam Dorrel Show right now. Welcome to Week 7 of the Adam Dorrel Show, presented by Lawrence Hall from the ACU TV studios on the campus of Abilene Christian University. I'm Grant Boone, alongside Owen Simpson and the head football coach at ACU, Adam Dorrel. After playing 4 of their first 6 games on the road this season, logging some 3,000 travel miles, the ACU football team now plays 4 of its next 5 games here in Abilene at Wildcat Stadium beginning tonight against Houston Baptist. Kickoff is set for 6. You throw in the bye week November 2nd, Coach, and that means you'll be off the road for 5 of the next 6 weeks. It was mid-October last year when you were 1-3 in the league and maybe folks had written you off, and you go on a huge tear, 4 straight wins, you put yourself into playoff contention. With all the home games, and given what you did last year, and given what you've seen so far, do you think you have a run like that possibly in you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I told our guys Sunday, I know statistics don't win football games, but if you look at the things that consistently, years of data will tell you, turnover margin is number 1. Well, we're +6 and have the best turnover margin in the Southland Conference, and so obviously that's probably the most frustrating stat right there. You're doing so good with taking care of the football, but you're not winning games. Rush offense, I think it's 2nd or 3rd. Rush defense is right there. Total offense, total defense, red zone scoring. So the body of work and that stuff is telling you that we're not a bad football team, and we just got to go out and put it together. The things that are we've got to fix is the slow starts, and then we got to finish stronger. We've lost the 4th quarter the last few weeks, but absolutely, I think there's a lot of football left to be played, and really excited about our guys and their attitude towards that.
Now, about a month ago, Beaumont and Houston were really hammered by some flooding. Last week, traveling down there, the team and a few others brought down some supplies. What was it like to just give back to the community and remind your players it's more than just football?
Yeah, we were able to. That was really Joe Golding in men's basketball really drove the bus on that. They got a lot of stuff together and went to FedEx it, and I think it was around $600 a box. So we worked out a plan, and we were heading that way, so we were able to take it down there. But it's certainly good, and I think that's what we all understand, what makes ACU special. There's always that idea here of trying to give and to help others, which is a big part of what we do. All of us do.
And these are teams we're trying to beat on, on game day, but they're our friends and in addition to being our rivals as well. All right, tonight we are going to preview that game against Houston Baptist, and we'll tell you about an ACU connection that has helped the Huskies of HBU get off to a fast start. But when we return, highlights and Coach Dorrel's analysis from last week's nail-biter in Beaumont. Stay with us. This is the Adam Dorrel Show, presented by Lawrence Hall. Welcome back to the Adam Dorrel Show, presented by Lawrence Hall. Last week in Beaumont, Texas, ACU took on Lamar University in a matchup of 2 of the Southland Conference founding members. A back-and-forth game went the Cardinals' way in the final minutes, and ACU fell 27-24. It was a milestone moment, however, for sophomore Samaje Davis, who became the first African-American to start a game at quarterback for ACU. Samaje got the call because of an injury to Luke Anthony. So, Coach, a first start for any player, anytime, is always a big event. But tell us about the week of preparation for Samaje and how you felt like he handled his big moment in the spotlight.
Oh, we were very proud of him. We thought he played really, really well. I think if you look, the way he played, what we've been doing with him, getting him involved, I think has always been my philosophy, is that it helps when the guy does have to start because of an injury. And if you look at how he played, at Sam Houston last year, I think he had a big hand in helping us win that game, and Nickel State too. Huge. And so he was confident himself. He always has been, but again, it's a whole different thing to go out and do it. And very proud of him. I thought he played really well. It wasn't the throws. What I said, it wasn't the throws he made, and he made some really good throws. It's the throws he didn't make, and we kept giving him a chance to do it. And if it wasn't there, man, he just took off running and had some big plays. So extremely happy for him, and I wish he wouldn't have taken some of those hits that he took. But just a very competitive young man, and our players really love him.
And after the slow start in the first quarter, Samaje throws his first collegiate touchdown to Kobe Clark for his first receiving touchdown. What changed between the first quarter and the second quarter offensively?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, man. We've been trying to put our finger on that because we just have been off to a really, really slow start, and we're trying to do different things in practice to mitigate that a little bit. But I don't have an answer for you on that. It's not like we're calling different plays or doing different things. Obviously, the football is a game of adjustments, and I think we do a really good job with that as a staff. But in your first 15 to 20 plays, you're running things that pretty much exactly how the defense is going to line up, what coverage you're going to get. I just don't think we're doing a very good job of executing in those first 15, 20 plays, and we got to get better at that.
He had the full playbook at his disposal, didn't he? He threw deep, he threw short. Samaje was terrific. So you're up 13-10 at halftime. Third quarter, each team really made a lot of plays on both sides of the field. And at the end of the third quarter, you get a touchdown from Samaje to Tracy James. And then what does Tracy James do? He then takes a pitch going left and then hurls it into the end zone for Brandon Hohenstein to catch 2-point conversion. So Tracy's doing everything. He now leads the nation. He's really done it all year. Leads the nation in touchdowns, which is saying something. 124 teams. Typically, a tailback, especially one like Tracy, who now doesn't have Billy McCrary to give him, a few plays off. Typically, as the season wears on, you see a tailback tail off a little bit in production. Is he getting stronger?
He is. He's doing a lot of really good things. He's a captain and a leader, and I think he's really taken a lot upon himself to try to get us going in the right direction again. And that means a bunch to us as coaches. His leadership at practice has been extraordinary, and it doesn't surprise me he's having the type of season he had, because if you look at his body of work since we've been here, but really, really starting last winter, the way he's changed his body, he's gotten faster, he's gotten quicker, and it's just he's a complete player. He can run it, he can catch it, and he can block, and
throw it.
Absolutely. And we've had a lot of scouts in here looking at him just because of the way he's really taken off his senior year.
Cool. And looking into the fourth quarter, Lamar starts off with a field goal. They kick the onside kick, recover, score a touchdown. The big thing in the fourth quarter was the time of possession. I mean, they had the ball for over 11 minutes in the fourth quarter. When you get the ball back and you're trailing after they score the touchdown, how confident are you in your team to be able to still come out with the win?
Well, we obviously, we always save a couple plays for later in the game, and we obviously had those and it didn't get it done. But, the thing that you go back to the fourth quarter, we lost fourth quarter 10-0. We ran 6 offensive plays. I mean, that's not going to get it done. Didn't get off the field defensively in crucial third down situations. That's not going to get it done. And then, the onside kick, it was just disappointing because the kid, yes, he executed a very good kick, but it's something we had showed our players because we'd seen it on film. We showed them that 8 times throughout the week, and here came the kick, and the laces were where we saw, and we just locked up, and we can't do that. You can't do that in a crucial situation. You got to go make a play on the ball, but it's something we got to learn from and move forward. But those factors are just things that just absolutely kill you in the fourth quarter when you're trying to win a football game.
Yeah, possessions were so critical, weren't they? Especially in the fourth. So final score 27-24. I want to touch on a couple of things that happened during the game of note. Ryan Stapp, the freshman from College Station, tends to do a little something each game that stands out. And he did something really big on Saturday. He intercepts a Hail Mary pass on the last play of the first half, returns it. He would have gotten credit for 97 yards. He went about 197 with the zigging and the zagging that he did. It got called back because of a holding call. Is Ryan Stapp kind of bullying his way into more playing time right now?
Yeah, he's doing a really good job for a true freshman. Again, we feel like we kind of got a steal there on that kid. He wasn't highly recruited from the Division I level coming out of high school. Ryan had significant track times, track numbers that were legitimate. We knew he was fast. Factor that in with his father's just retired this year, but was a long-time high school football coach. I've always had really good luck with coaches' kids, and he's playing really well, playing at a high level, being very dynamic on special teams. putting a lot of pressure on the punters and kickers because we're sending him off the edge a lot. So doing a lot of really good things.
Good.
Looking back at Kobe Clark this past Saturday, really putting up his best performance statistically so far in college. 9 receptions, over 80 receiving yards, and his first touchdown. How have you seen him grow from walking on last year to his now full ride scholarship this year?
Yeah, he's just the thing with him that's really impressive. Obviously, he has a very diverse physical skill set because he can get open in man coverage, the speed, the quickness, but he also understands zones. He finds windows. He feels it. He lays down in our option routes and just finds that void. But then, you know, where I've seen growth from him is he now can play 3 positions. He can play Z, H, and X, and just not a lot of guys can do that from a football IQ standpoint at such a low age. You know, Fink can do that. Well, you know, Josh is a senior. It's hard for anybody to do. It's really, really hard for a guy that's just a sophomore to do it. So that's a credit to him and his work ethic and trying to expand his vision of football, and he's done a really good job of that.
I want to mention one other thing. You as you said, +3 in the turnover margin, no giveaways, 3 takeaways. A couple of backups created a turnover. Bright Iagoro, D tackle, hustling from D line about at least 10 yards downfield to make a forced fumble, and Hunter Keir backing up Jeremiah Chambers in the middle, fell on it. These are guys who are having trouble getting playing time when you have guys like Jeremiah Chambers ahead of them, but it's cool to see them get in the stat sheet and contribute.
Yeah, it is, and Samaje wasn't the only one. We have some other injuries where, you know, that next man up philosophy, and a lot of those guys that were the next man up, Samaje, Bright, they played really, really well. So proud of them for that.
All right, so final score 27-24 in favor of Lamar. The Wildcats try to bounce back tonight at home against Houston Baptist. We'll preview that game in just a bit, but first, as we go to break, take a look at scores from last week in the Southland Conference. This is the Adam Dorrel Show presented by Lawrence Hall.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Owen Simpson. ACU soccer continued its run for the Southland Conference title this past weekend. The Wildcats had their first taste of conference competition Friday with a double overtime draw against Northwestern State 1-1. Both teams also tied in shots with 18 each, but the Lady Demons finished with 12 saves to ACU's 2. Later on Sunday, the Wildcats got back on track with a 4-1 win over Northwestern State. ACU scored 3 goals in the first half and dominated in shots. Up next, they'll hit the road to face Texas A&M Corpus Christi this Friday. ACU volleyball struggled away from Abilene this past weekend, losing to McNeese in straight sets and Lamar in 4 sets. Mary Beth Sandercox led the way against McNeese with 9 kills and 10 points. Later on Saturday, despite losing in 4 sets to Lamar, 3 of the matches were decided by 4 points or less. The Wildcats will continue their conference play on the road Thursday at 7 against Nichols. For the ACU Optimist and ACU TV, we'll be right back.
ACU TV provides a place for people to come to learn and to grow and to also be a big part of what's going on at ACU.
To work at ACU TV is probably the best experience you will get in a college setting.
Being able to do it for football games like out here is like, for game days experience, it was awesome. Being able to see your shots and then being able to look back at it and saying like, wow, that was my shot, it was awesome.
It looks amazing in here, and I know Neil Santana spent so much time redesigning it, and he did an amazing job and really truly made it look like a news station would.
Getting to work with Grant, talking with the coaches regularly, this has just really given me a lot of experience moving into the real world.
The work on the floor, getting to teach people, and then also getting to be right there with the basketball players. I couldn't compare it to anything I had done before.
Watching all the clubs at Sing Song get their awards and just being so excited was such a rewarding thing to see because we were able to help contribute to that. It was just an incredible experience overall.
To see my work broadcasted nationally is so incredible.
The pressure of filming on a live broadcast for people to see around the world is just, it's a different feeling than just a regular game filming for the screen.
It's just perfect experience for the real world. You're going to be in a control room. Somebody's going to be giving commands, telling you to switch over to this camera or to put this graphic up there. You know, you got to realize this, I wouldn't be doing this anywhere else. I think ACU provides me this blessing of an opportunity.
The ability for ACU TV to be so flexible and cover literally every section of campus is amazing.
We're here for the campus. We're here to better the community and show that ACU has a lot of great things going on.
It helps us become more of a community and cultivates support for our athletes, for our students who are succeeding and doing TEDx, and and sing song. And it's one of the biggest benefits I see as a student is just that ACU TV really does an incredible job bringing us all together as a campus.
As we welcome you back to the Adam Dorrel Show presented by Lawrence Hall, take a look at the Southland Conference standings. Just 2 teams remain unbeaten in the league, Sam Houston State at 3-0 and Nichols at 2-0, both of whom ACU will play later this season. Now here is today's Southland Conference schedule. A couple of 2-1 teams meet when Southeastern Louisiana hosts Incarnate Word. The only conference team not in action tonight or today is ACU's next opponent, Stephen F. Austin, which comes to Abilene next Saturday for homecoming here on the Hill. Tonight at Wildcat Stadium, ACU hosts Houston Baptist. This is not your father's Huskies team. In fact, it's not even your older brothers or sisters. HBU comes in at 4-2 overall, both losses by 2 points each. They are number 1 in the nation in scoring at nearly 50 points per game, behind a name familiar to many ACU fans, offensive coordinator Zach Kitley, the son of legendary Wildcat track and field head coach Wes Kitley, who's the current track and field head coach at Texas Tech. Wes tells me he'll be at the game tonight. Coach, as you look at HBU, this is a program that didn't even begin football officially till 2014. They've already equaled their highest win total, 4. What, in your mind, is the primary reason they've been able to turn things around under Coach Vic Shealy?
Yeah, a couple things. I think obviously with hiring the new OC, I think he's done a really good job. It's just changed the complexity of what they're doing. But they did a lot of really good things last year offensively, and so they invested a few years ago in young guys, played those young guys, took their lumps with them, but now they have a ton of experience. They've done a really good job of going out and recruiting the Houston area. Special teams, they're playing really dynamic on special teams. They have the best kickoff return team in the country. So, but to me, where I've seen just, in my opinion, the biggest growth is, Coach Shealy, the head coach, is a defensive guy, and you can tell he's really reasserted himself into the defense. They went from, being statistically a really bad defense, playing a 30-man front, to where they're playing an even front now, and they're a good defense. And so I think that has a lot to do with him. And so now you factor an offense who's dynamic and diverse and was doing it last year. They're doing it again this year at just a really, really high level. Take the defense and what they're doing, it's good. But I think they're really good coaches. I think they're doing a great job of playing to their strengths of the kids that they have. And to me, that's a sign of good coaching.
And there's so many pieces to talk about when it comes to HBU's offense. I mean, 2 receivers averaging around 100 receiving yards a game, a quarterback throwing for over 350 yards a game. Last week, you didn't give up a lot of points, but you did give up a lot of yards. Going into this week, what are going to be some key factors for you to not necessarily shut down, but contain?
Well, you have to stop the run. I mean, it's going to be interesting this week. They haven't played all year against an even front, and we're an even front team, so that's going to be very interesting. See how that plays out. They're going to get their pass yards. To me, you can't give them 180 yards a game rushing, which that's what they're averaging. So we got to stop the run, try to make them one-dimensional. You are correct. They're doing a great job of spreading the football, so you don't know where it's going. But stop the run, limit the big play, and then we have to get off the field on 3rd down and take a step farther 4th down. It's us and Houston Baptist have gone for it more than anybody in the league on 4th down. Their conversion percentage on 4th down is around 70-something%. So they know who they are, and they're playing to win each and every game, and they're playing what I call guns up football, and they're going to go for it on 4th down. So it's something we practiced all week. A lot of times defensive guys, your mantra is, hey, I get to 4th down, I get to get off the field. That's not necessarily the case this week, but you have to stop the run to get them into longer 3rd down, longer 4th down conversions.
Other side of the field, when you're on offense, what can you tell us about Luke Anthony and Samaje Davis and your plan for quarterback? Can Luke play tonight?
Yeah, Luke can play. He's going to be ready to go. We're going to play Samaje at a lot of different positions like we have all year. For us, it's just more consistency. The intermediate pass game for us, we've got to complete more intermediate passes at that 12 to 13-yard range. They play an even front. Their safeties are very, very downhill, and they support the run. And so you can't let a defense do both those things to you. And if they're going to play downhill, you got to be able to complete some passes, loosen them up, run the football, and be very fundamentally sound, be very strategic on your formation, so we know exactly how they're going to line up, try to get a body on a body, and just get Tracy the ball and Tyrese out in space, and hopefully get some big runs.
Welcome home.
Yeah, thank you.
You've earned it. For the next 5 games at home starting tonight when the Cats and Dogs tangle at Wildcat Stadium. The Huskies of Houston Baptist visiting the Wildcats of Abilene Christian. Kickoff set for 6 p.m. Jim Reese and I will have the radio broadcast beginning at 5:30. You can watch the game as well on ESPN3. For Coach Dorrel and for Owen, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the Adam Dorrel Show presented by Lawrence Hall. Enjoy the game tonight here at Wildcat Stadium. We'll see you right here next week.